Welcome everybody back to We Talk Film. I'm your host, as always, Barry, joined as always by Clayton. How you going,
Hello.
Clayton?
Hello,
How
Barry.
are you,
I am
buddy?
the.
It feels like
I'm
forever.
good.
Even though was
It
only a
has
week ago.
been. It has been a long week. Okay,
been a
this
very
week has
long
been
week.
felt like 4 weeks.
It did.
Because, yeah.
In a whole 4
we had
weeks,
the-
we've managed to find ourselves in a brand new year and a brand new season of We Talk Film.
Oh shit! Yeah, this is season 2. If for anyone that's wondering,
Season 2.
we're still here. We have had more
here.
seasons than the Cleveland
wow.
show. We're doing really well. We're doing.
Hey, I thought
We're back.
I thought Cleveland show got like 3 seasons.
Oh, never mind. We got more seasons than I thought the Cleveland show had, which is what the Cleveland show probably should have had. Probably. We're back.
Let's be honest.
For a second season.
We're back for a second
bigger, better,
season.
bolder. Is that our tag? We need a tagline.
We need a tagline.
We talk tagline. Yeah. What's our
taglines?
What's our show tagline? We talk film, and then it needs a line. It needs something.
We talk film.
Man. Is that also
stuff.
the tagline? Filmy stuff. Second season. Because you know how they do that? Like the seasons of a show, every few seasons they have like a different tagline. It'll be like Gotham, he's back or something, and it's like season 4. It's like we talk film,
season
filmy
2,
things.
Gotham, he's back.
No, we're not talking about Gotham. My God, we're talking about a different superhero show today. We're talking about season 2 of What If. Oddly fitting, considering this is the second season of our show, and we're talking about the second season of another show.
Exactly.
It's wacky.
Yeah, why not?
Showception. But yeah.
Showception. Here we go.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Before we get into season 2 of What If, though, we're going to kick it over to the news. First news story of the year.
Take it away, Clayton.
Well, even though it felt like it's been 27 billion weeks in between episodes, not a lot has happened in the news. Mostly announcements. So the first thing that I would like to announce is that The Boys Season 4 has a release date. It is coming on June 13th on Prime Video. So anyone with Amazon is going to probably be waiting to check that out. I'm sure it's going to be good. The Boys hasn't had a bad season. They've had bad moments, but they have not had a bad season. Even the spin-off, which was entirely new to the universe, was really good. So I'm so excited for season 4 of the show. It's amazing.
It's going to be great.
I have all 3 seasons of it behind me in my little TV show collection over there near Spider-Man.
Nice.
It's just so good. Very rarely do I collect a show, and The Boys is one of them. So I'm very excited. How about you, Barry?
Oh yeah, no, I'm very much looking forward to season 4 of The Boys. Ever since the end of season 3, and then they did Gen V, and I was like, I want more. I want more Butcher. Just give me more Butcher. I love that character so much.
Oh, and we're going to get lots by the looks of it. I mean, considering how Gen V ended, it's going to be insane. Oh, okay. Moving away from The Boys, over to Marvel. The Thunderbolts got some news. That's kind of Marvel's Suicide Squad team. The villains put together and they yada yada. Anyway, they're getting a movie with a bunch of people in it. Stephen Yeun was supposed to be in it as the Sentry. But unfortunately, he's had to step away from that role due to scheduling conflicts. So Marvel are going to look for someone else to fill that role for that movie. But he still wants to do another one. He wants to play another character. He's down to do anything.
Yep.
I don't know how excited you are for Thunderbolts and Sentry as a character.
Yeah. I was just like, okay, sure, why not? He's got to be somewhere in there at some point. The whole side of Marvel things at the moment, we'll talk about this probably later after today's episode.
We will.
And stuff like that. It's a bit of a mess at the moment, what's going on at Marvel, and we're not sure what's actually going with the live action side of things and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
And I don't think Marvel are sure either because, like you said, people are stepping away from this movie. There's a bunch of issues. Scheduling seems to be the least of their worries. I'm sure they can find another actor to fill the role of Sentry. But Stephen Yeun as an actor is amazing. He obviously voices Mark in the Invincible show. And he does a really good job as the flying around superhero. So something like that would be really cool. A bunch of fans have speculated that he would make a great Mr. Negative if they do a Spider-Man movie with someone like him in it.
Yeah,
and I feel like that that's probably the best fan casting I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
Like,
wouldn't mind him
yeah.
at Mr. Negative at all.
Oh, hell no. They can do a really good Mr. Negative. Ever since the 2018 Spider-Man game, I've fell in love with Mr. Negative, so I would love for Spider-Man 4 or 5 or whatever to adapt that sort of story with Stephen
Yep, yep.
Yeun, who's an amazing actor. I feel like that could work really well. So Marvel, hopefully they're taking notes from
Yeah,
fans.
they listen to this podcast all the time. They're avid listeners. I know Kevin
Marvel
Feige
themselves.
he messages me every single day.
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't know what we're doing over here, man. He's like, give me some advice. We got all this shit
Yep.
going down at the moment.
Yeah. No, that's true. He was doing that to me, but I had to block him. He was getting
Yeah,
annoying.
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't care, Mr. Feige, leave me alone. And he's like, please help me with Marvel.
Hey, have you got
No,
James
Mr.
Gunn's phone number?
And then he cried. He sent me a voice message of himself crying.
Yep,
No.
yep.
Okay. All right. Moving away to something completely random. As we all know, Robin Williams, the late great actor, had a daughter named of Zelda, and she is releasing her first ever feature film called Lisa Frankenstein, and we've gotten a first look at that, a trailer, for that movie starring Catherine Newton and Cole Sprouse. And I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know, Barry. Have you seen the
yeah.
trailer?
I saw the trailer. Well, I watched like 30 seconds of it. Then I was just like, I have better things to watch and spend my next 2 minutes on.
I watched the entire thing. It had some funny moments, but I feel like that they're in the trailer. That's all that the movie's gonna have funny moments wise.
Yeah,
It feels kind of I don't know. It
yeah.
feels kind of.
We'll see when the movie comes out. That's like a lot more now. When I see previews for movies and stuff like that, if it piques my interest, I'll watch it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'll check it out. I like obviously her father, so I'm keen to see what she can bring to that table. Whether I don't know, fulfilling that sort of role in some way, or just doing her own thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. It might end up being good. Who knows?
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay. But speaking of things that look good, okay, we got another little teaser trailer for a Netflix animated show. This time, we got a trailer for Arcane Season 2. Just a little 20-second teaser, and it's all that it needed to get me hyped because this looks really good. Oh man, like season 1 of Arcane.
So looking forward to next season of Arcane.
100%. I read the screenplay to that entire show. Like,
damn, that's dedication.
Because it's so good. I love the writing in it, and already season 2 looks miles ahead of everything else Netflix has done the past year and a half. It's like, this is insane. I can't wait.
That's the thing, because when did season 1 of Arcane come out? It's been a while now.
2 years? 2 years,
2021. It came out.
So it'll be 3 years because it's November that season 2 is coming out. So it'll be around 3 years.
Like started working on the animation probably like a couple years or a few years before on that. So yeah, it's been a long time to get season 2.
It has, but it feels like worth it. It definitely feels like people are okay with that as well. I mean, Invincible went through a similar thing where there was a gap of like 2.5 years between season 1 and 2. People were starting to get annoyed, but they're okay with it because it turned out good. And I'm all for things not being rushed if they turn out good. I'm very excited to check that out. We'll definitely be covering that on the show when we get around to it in November, near the end of season 2 of We Talk Film. Jesus Christ. Barry.
Be in our honorable mentions for the next year's award ceremony. This year's award ceremony now. That's right. It's 2024 now. I have to remember that.
Oh shit. Yeah, it is. Yeah. We're doing more of those. If you haven't listened to our awards episode, that was pretty fun. Definitely go check that out. Our season capper.
Yes.
But considering this is a new season, this is a new us, new film, new we talk, new film we talk about.
We talk about films.
Yeah, new vocabulary between us. New
vocabulary. Yes, it's very much of the same thing. We're gonna start speaking in tongues now.
Yeah, what are we doing today, Barry?
Well, today, as we said earlier, we are going to talk about a very cool animated show that came out over Christmas time and everything like that, but we didn't talk about until now. So here's my little clip for today's section.
I've been looking for you for a long time. Just be careful. I don't think I can bear to narrate what might happen next.
So yes, that is What If Season 2. Obviously, we haven't really talked about Season 1 on this show at all before, but we'll talk about that later. But we're mainly here for Season 2 because we're celebrating our Season 2 of the show, and why not hit it off with a recent show done by Marvel that was absolutely amazing and some of the better stuff they've done in recent years. And I loved every single episode and every single second watching these episodes.
Yeah.
So I
mean,
suppose
that's fair.
we'll start off with Season 2, Episode 1, which is What If Nebula Joined the Nova Corps? So yeah, Nebula sets out to prove her detective chops where she's recruited to join the Nova Corps. Yeah, what are your thoughts on takes on this one?
Well, okay, first thing, why are you saying corpse? It's core. Like you don't pronounce yeah, like it's core.
All right, I'm reading a thing here and it's just got corpse.
Yeah, no, but it's pronounced core, Nova Core.
Oh, Nova Core. I thought it was corpse.
Yeah, but it's spelt like that, CORPS, but it's pronounced core. It's an army term.
Nova Core.
There you go. Okay, so Season 2 kicks it off with an episode that's Blade Runner inspired. It's a very neo-noir detective story starring some of our favorite characters from the MCU in a weird little setting, because the show does that. It basically asks the question, what if? And then it gives us a random thing. Like every episode is different. It's insane. Ever since Season 1 gave us some really cool things. Like this one, what if Nebula joined the Nova Corps? It presents a cool question and it answers it in a fun way. But I will say that I think I preferred the first season of this show to the second season, mostly because I felt like some of the writing this time held it back a bit. But we've also got to take into consideration that this was a COVID project, entirely COVID project. So
and was also a lot of the elements of Season 2 were already in production while Season 1 was being made as well.
Yeah.
So they both kind of tie into one another as well with the stories and what they were working on and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's true. Okay, so this episode, what happens in it? Nova solves a mystery.
So basically, the planet where the Nova Corps are, which I always forget, where the first Guardians film took place.
Xandar.
Xandar, that's it.
Yeah.
Basically, in an alternate reality of our own, the Guardians aren't a thing. They were never formed or whatever, and Xandar basically gets sealed away from the rest of the universe because of impending attack from
Ronan.
From Ronan the Accuser.
That's right. Yeah,
they sealed themselves away, so he can't attack them. But the only problem with that is that they're sealed off from the rest of the universe, and they all have to live in a society with one another now. And somehow Nebula, at that time, she's found herself signed up part of the Nova Corps, and being basically turned into like a Blade Runner detective
Blade Runner
episode. She's a Blade Runner. She's Rick Deckard. She's basically Deckard from Blade Runner.
Pretty much. Definitely
she has
inspired.
to, I think, because Yondu at the beginning of the episode, he gets murdered.
He dies.
By someone.
Yeah,
he dies.
That's right. Someone kills him.
Voiced by Michael Rooker. He actually came back to do the voicing. A lot of the people,
came back to die.
He came back to die. A lot of the people that obviously do the voices for the animated characters actually are the actors portraying them in real life, which is really cool.
Almost all of them. It seems to be just like Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. that don't come back. It seems like for the most part,
and
everyone else.
Tom Holland as well. Like he didn't come back. I was like, that's weird.
Was there a Spider-Man in this season?
Not this season. No.
No. But yeah, for the first season, he didn't.
First season, yeah.
No. But for this season, it's most of them, except for your Iron Man and your Captain America. Everything else is voiced by the real people. At least what I saw, I couldn't see anyone else that wasn't. Which is always cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. And it's always cool to see, especially having like the real actors' voices. And it's just more of an additional version of their character, essentially. So it's just like, it's just cool to see more of their character. And we actually got to see like a different side to Nebula a bit more, because this was her first time leading an episode or leading something. in anything really Marvel, where she was the main character of it the entire time. And yeah, basically she has to investigate who killed Yondu, and there's a whole murder mystery plot behind it all. She meets Groot. Groot's there.
That's right. And
With
Howard the
Howard
Duck.
the Duck,
He's the
voiced
psycho.
by
I
Seth,
love
Seth
Howard the
Green.
Duck. Yeah. Anything with Howard the
Um,
Duck is great.
Korg is also there, also voiced by
Korg's in
Taika
it.
Waititi.
That's right.
Jude Law is also in this episode as
That's
Yon
right.
Rog,
Yeah.
because he
We
basically
forget
is like,
that he
he
a
was in
thing.
the original Captain Marvel film.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
why
was
I
really
forget he
looking
was a thing.
forward to that movie because it was Jude Law in that movie. And then when I got to see, I was like, they wasted such a great actor.
Don't worry. He's back. Jude Law's back. And he's in it for about 2 minutes in this one.
Yeah. That's about it. And then there's this whole big plot where basically Nova Prime lady, she was behind it all, and she wants
that's right.
Thingy to attack the planet and everything like that, because they made a deal or a bargain or something like that. And then Nebula's just like, no, I'm taking control of the AIs and stuff like that, because it was kind of like mixed with Ghost in the Shell a bit in a few scenes.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is kind of cool.
It was definitely inspired by that stuff, but I think the episode just kind of fell flat towards the end, and I feel like that's common with a lot of these. Is because they're half an hour. Everything, it's trying to condense a 2-hour Marvel movie into half an hour. So everything feels a bit rushed. But as like standard entertainment, chuck this on and enjoy it. If you're a Marvel fan, I really enjoy it. I like it.
Oh yeah.
But they definitely do fall a little bit short. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so should we go on to the next episode then? Because not much else happens in that one.
Yeah, that's basically about it. They saved the day. Everyone's hurrah. And Nebula is like, in charge of everything. Yeah. And she's like, Blade Runner, I'm gonna shoot the replicants now. Jared Leto randomly shows up as well. It's amazing.
Wacky. Yeah.
It's wacky. So maybe that's in season 3 of What If Jared Leto rocks up.
Could be right. It could be. Morbius. They could do Morbius. They could do stuff like that. They have that's the thing. Can we talk about that before we get a second episode? Is the fact that they could include all of these other characters that we don't see MCU wise. Yeah. And they're not. I feels like there's definitely some opportunity there for some stuff, like have a Morbius episode, or even like, I don't know, like Moon Knight or Werewolf by Night, some characters that we have only seen once. It feels definitely just the main guys getting the spotlight, especially this season.
Yes,
for the most part.
Very much. Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shame. Again, another little disappointing thing, but not a bad thing because I like all these characters. But it's kind of disappointing. So, second episode is What If Peter Quill Attacked Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and this was great. I liked this one a lot.
Oh yes, yeah. Now I'm starting to remember this one. Now I'm looking through the pictures. This was like set in the 1980s. Where Peter Quill was a kid.
So cool. Yeah, he was. And everybody else was not in it because it was the original Avengers, kind of. If they had to assemble. So yeah, do you want to give us the rundown of the episode?
Yeah. So basically, you have a new team of heroes when Ego and his son Peter Quill launch an attack on Earth to spread Ego's expansion. The new Avengers' only hope is for Hank Pym. Oh, he's forgetting he is Pym. Yeah, and his daughter Hope to turn son against his father Ego. Otherwise, it will overwhelm Earth. This is basically the storyline. What if Peter Quill met his dad, like the original plan was meant to go, and everything like that, and Ego started taking over the universe and everything like that. That's basically the big plot line of it all. And then we have Michael Douglas returning as Hank Pym, Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter,
that was pretty crazy.
John Slattery as Howard Stark,
that's right,
Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, and Kurt Russell even came back to do Ego.
That was surprising. I didn't think he'd want to, but sure, I guess Disney paid him enough. Same with all of these actors, like Lawrence Fishburne's comes back as Goliath. That was so cool. We got to see him in action. Cool. And everybody else, it's even Michael Douglas, who sounds like 700 years old, even though he's playing a younger Hank Pym. It's fine. But it still works because he's such a charming guy, especially in this. It makes me wish we got more of these characters in like the Ant-Man movies, especially Goliath and Hank Pym. But that's fine because it's good in this. Because this was probably one of my favorites this season, just because again it was all new characters, or for the most part, new characters. having a cool adventure that was pretty much unlike anything we'd ever seen. I mean, we got Captain Carter back, who is a recurring character this season. She's our main focal point.
Yes. Yeah, very much Haley Atwell's the front runner of
Yeah, which I
this
am
show.
all for.
Oh
A
yeah.
lot,
Anything
a
with
lot
Haley
of
Atwell,
yeah,
I'm just like I'm loving.
a lot of people were complaining about that. A lot of people
Oh,
don't
okay.
like Peggy Carter. It is become a huge thing, and I think a
Wow.
lot of that is due to it's just focusing a lot on her,
Oh
and
yeah,
that
probably a
it's not
bit too
exploring
much.
any of the other elements. It's kind of everything around
Yeah.
her for the most part, especially later into this episode, into the season.
Yeah. Well,
But I really love her character, so I was fine
yeah,
with
well,
the
that's
season
very
on
much
Peggy
the
Carter.
point of
Yeah.
I think during the production of all this, this is what I said earlier, that they basically were starting to make a lot of the season 2 episodes were already like halfway through or almost
Yeah,
done
yeah.
during season 1. And I think they had like this entire story, which you do see with Haley Atwell's Peggy
Captain
Carter and
Carter.
stuff like
Yep.
that, Captain Carter, where they were like wanting to follow that through. So it'd be interesting to see with season 3 now what they
Yeah.
do, because they definitely have to do a season 3 now.
Oh, they've
The
already
response.
announced. They've
Yeah,
already seen a
yeah.
trailer.
There's already a
Like,
teaser trailer
yeah.
thing, like an entire clip. That's right.
It came out like a week after the season came out. It's like, oh, his third season's coming soon. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's that whole chase
Okay, Marvel.
sequence. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
sure. Just give it to us now.
Keep going. It seems like it's going to be like a yearly thing. If we're going to get What If to go alongside all the
Yeah.
MCU stuff, which is really cool. I'm all for it because I love them. But yeah, so yeah, second episode. Not much really happens. It's kind of just the Avengers teaming up, fighting Ego. That's about it.
Well, Peter.
Yeah, it's
and then
Guardians too.
Basically, Peter's just
Yeah.
like, I don't want to do this anymore,
Yeah.
father. And then they're basically fired up against Ego, and then
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth's
Yeah.
there being Thor as always, and it's absolutely
Oh, he was
amazing
great.
to see. He's great. This Chris Hemsworth
great.
is definitely Thor for sure.
Oh yeah, this
He
one
just
felt a
fits in
lot
so
like
well.
the original Avengers Thor too. It was just so
Yes,
good.
yeah. Much
I
more
loved it.
goofier and stuff like that.
But not goofy in a Love and Thunder way. It was goofy in
Yeah,
like an
yeah.
original
In
Avengers.
a better
So like
way.
serious, but it's everyone else is like, this guy's a weirder, but he's
Yep,
serious.
yep,
It was great. So yeah, should we go to the third episode?
Yeah, third episode, which is What If
Yeah.
Happy Hogan Saved Christmas? Because
That's right.
obviously what they did we're releasing these episodes, they released them every single day
Yeah.
for the like 9 days around Christmas. And it was just like a present type thing they were doing, a whole promotion thing. So
I don't know.
obviously, yes, they had to have one Christmas themed episode. And I think it came out Christmas Day, this one, didn't it?
Came out Christmas Eve, so
Christmas Eve, yeah.
yeah, might be Christmas Day for the US audience.
Yeah,
Christmas Eve
which
for us.
basically follows John Favreau's Happy Hogan character, and it basically is an alternate version of Die Hard, and also starring Justin Hammer or Sam Rockwell returning as Justin Hammer in this one as well, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah. It was pretty
basically,
funny.
It was a pretty interesting episode because basically what the Avengers are all out doing things that Avengers do type thing on Christmas Eve. There's meant to be a party going down that Hogan's meant to be like obviously putting all together for the team and stuff like that, until Justin Hammer comes along being just like, ho, 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 I'm here to take all of Stark's tech in a tower.
Yeah. It's Die Hard.
The Avengers, it's Die Hard. It's basically Die Hard.
It's Die Hard.
And then
It's Die
basically
Hard.
Hogan turns into his his weird version, an alternate version of the Hulk as well.
The Incredible, it's the Incredible Bulk.
The Incredible Bulk.
Yeah, that's he's canon now. The Incredible Bulk. It's canon. Oh man!
And yeah,
this episode was
chaos ensues.
Wacky. It was a wacky
was
episode.
wacky.
I really liked it. It was just Die Hard. It just kind of made fun of that. That's all it did. There was some cool action in it. I really like some of the fight scenes. That's another thing. Is this season it seems like the fight scenes have improved. They're really good and they're really long. We get some really long fight scenes. Around some pretty generic storytelling and dialogue, but everything else, it feels really good. I love just the animation style as well. So,
that's a very big thing with this show and why I fell in love with it. Because that's the thing. I never watched season 1 when it came out. I only started watching season 1 when, you said, "Oh, we might do this on the podcast," and then I was like, "Oh,
Yep.
the season 2 is coming out, so I'll watch them at all the same time." So I watched them all within like a week of one another and stuff like that. And yeah, the animation style, what they've done, I've actually fallen in love with. I love
I
it
love it.
a lot. Like it's a
Yeah.
really interesting, unique style. And I even watched like the documentary about making of season 1 as well, and the art style they chose.
Yeah,
It's
that's
basically
good.
like it's based upon like I forget the artist's name, but he used to do like World
Uh,
War II army propaganda like stuff and everything like that for
yeah,
America.
yep.
Like the guy, you know, there's like the iconic one. There's like a
Yep.
female and she has like the
The strong arm
muscles and
woman.
stuff, like strong arm woman.
Mhm.
Basically that guy, which they took the inspiration of
Yeah,
a lot of his
you can
stuff.
see that.
And this is
It
what the
definitely
style they
feels like
chose
that.
and everything
Yeah.
like that. Which I was like, oh, that's really nice because I really like that art style as well.
It
And
looks
so I
really
can
good.
definitely see that influenced.
Yeah,
Oh
as
yes.
it feels like, yeah, comic book come to life, and I love it. I love that we're getting this extensions of the MCU because they're usually the more interesting parts of the MCU is all the new different stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, we got a Christmas episode with again everyone in it. And then we got episode 4, which is what if Iron Man crashed into the Grand Master? And this episode was supposed to be first season.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just got cut due to it just not being finished. And they even have to call it back at the start of this episode, being like,
Yes.
"Hey, you know, this technically happened before the story that we've already seen, but don't worry about it. It's fun." And then we're like, "Okay." And it was it was Death Race, but on Sakaar. It
Yeah,
was Thor
yeah, on
Ragnarok with
Sakaar,
Iron Man.
yeah.
It was Death Race.
Um,
This
which
was
was
fun.
pretty interesting
I
to
liked
see,
it.
yeah, because we got to see obviously, yeah, like a different take. Like, what if Tony Stark did go out into
Yeah.
space after the Avengers attack and actually like what happened
Yeah,
to
that's
him
right.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, and basically he's challenged the Grand Master to a Grand Prix Toon Demolition Derby type
Yeah.
thing with like all occurring characters that were in Thor Ragnarok all
Yep.
there. Except yeah, it's just Tony Stark being there and being his witty self and
Yeah.
everything like that, which was
And
kind of
yeah,
cool.
it was good. It was really cool. And we got like the best Jeff Goldblum performance. He was great in Thor Ragnarok, and they let him shine even more in this episode. He was my favorite part. As always, it's Jeff Goldblum. You can't hate the guy. He's great and everything.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
but this also put a cool shine on Tony Stark. There is a lot of like Iron Man comics where he gets sent away to some weird place and has to like build armor out of rocks and scraps or something. And
Yeah,
this
yeah.
happens in here, and it's really cool to see. I love that kind of storytelling. And then yeah, it becomes a race thing, and you know exactly what's going to happen in all of these. You know exactly what's going to happen for the most part. Until maybe like the season finales, but even still, it's predictable, but it's entertaining, I guess. So
Yes.
it's fun. I guess the best way to describe this show is fun.
Yeah, it's just basically like fun, wacky, alternative stories to the characters that we already know and love
Yeah.
and everything like that. But it's
Yeah.
just like seeing them like, oh, they could have been like doing this instead of that and everything like that. And definitely
Yeah.
this season, much more than the first one, they start to go more wacky with it towards the end of this season than they did with the first one. Like they started adding
Yeah,
like
yeah,
new
yeah.
additional characters and stuff like that. Even with
I
this
do
one as
like that.
well. Yeah, it was just like an alternate take of because that's the thing, everyone loves Thor Ragnarok, and it was just like more of that
Yeah.
world, more of Sakaar and stuff like that. And it was just yeah, like Jeff Goldblum being the Grand Master again, and seeing him as like an oozed version as well, where he's just liquid chilling at the end. He's like, I'm loving this.
Someone got to get me a bucket.
Someone gotta
It's
get
like-
a bucket. It feels really nice. And yeah, it was
So
kind of cool to
funny.
see like Tony Stark in his element, or out of his element, I suppose, but still like building stuff with alternate, I don't know, ways or alternate stuff he could find on the planet.
Yeah.
And trying to help out the people of Sakaar and stuff like that. So that's what Tony Stark is. He's a hero. He's Iron Man still at the end of the day. And he's like, I'll do whatever I can to like try and rescue these people. And then yeah, he just like builds literally a Formula One car. Well, it's like a car that turns into a Formula One car that then turns into his armor.
It's also
and
armor.
It's a whole thing, yeah. But that's
It
the
felt
thing, with
very
like, the
Iron Man
animation
2, yeah.
style. Yeah, you can do a lot more with these episodes as well, because that's the thing with
Yeah.
animation. It lends itself to doing more wacky ideas. And I think
Yeah.
that's the reason why they're able to get away with doing a lot more of these weird alternate stories for this show,
Yeah.
is because simply
It's
it
great.
is animated. So
I love that because again, you don't need to pay the actors either as well. You don't need Robert Downey Jr. to come back as Iron Man.
Yeah.
Because it's animated, people are okay with a different voice, and this
Even
voice actor's
though-
really good.
Yeah, Mike
Mick
Wingert. Mick
He does a good
Wingert.
job. He does
Yeah.
a good job.
No, he
Yeah.
does really good. But the thing is, I'm reading down here as well. Josh Brolin came back to do Thanos' voice.
Did
I'm
Thanos
just like-
say anything in this episode? I think he was just
I think
kind
he
of
had
there.
one line. He had one
Yeah.
line.
I mean, I
I'm
get
just
it.
like, okay.
Why not? Dude was like, yeah, all right, I'll say a line. That'll be
I'll
$10
say a
million.
line.
Thank you.
But yet, like
then he
RDJ
dies.
or Chris Evans couldn't come back.
Yeah, I mean, they're both doing big things, and they have explicitly said that they have pretty much done with Marvel. I mean, like,
True.
that's probably
made
a
their
personal
money.
thing. I'm sure
Yeah.
they were asked. Like, I
Probably.
guarantee, even season 1, I bet they were asked if they wanted to voice characters, and they probably were just like, nah,
Yeah,
don't worry
nah,
about it. But
nah,
I mean,
I'm good.
doesn't matter. It's fine. So yeah, we got that one, and then the next one is what if Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper? And this is a really cool one because this is kind of Winter Soldier again.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
But it's also Black Widow. It's Black Widow and Winter Soldier combined, smashed together with Peggy Carter as the lead.
Which turned out really, really well. So yeah, basically this is like kind of a tie-in to season 1, I suppose, a bit more with Peggy Carter's.
It's a sequel. It's the first sequel
character.
episode.
The first sequel episode.
Yeah.
Following her continuation after she came back from the battle events of season 1, which was a whole end sequence to that. And yeah, basically Steve Rogers is the Winter Soldier, or what's he? The Iron. What's it called?
I can't. It's
Hydra
the
Stomper.
ancient.
The Hydra Stomper.
Stomper. That's right.
That's
It's in the title.
Yeah.
Oh,
So basically, he is this world's version of where instead of Bucky, Steve got held hostage by Hydra at some point after obviously Peggy left after the war and stuff like that, going through dimensions and stuff like that. And he basically got hypnotized and turned into the Hydra Stomper and working for Hydra and assassinating people and everything like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we must find him. We must save him. And then they do all that whole thing. You've watched Winter Soldier. Everyone's watched Winter Soldier. Go and watch that again if you don't understand the premise.
It's the same
really
sort of events.
Same sort of
but
events.
yeah, with the character switch ups.
Yeah.
And it's
then
really
they
fun.
obviously tied in Black Widow with it, and they had all the Black Widow people in there as well. And the base.
That's right, the floating base from Black Widow. I don't remember anything from that movie, so this was kind of a refresher. So I was like, all right, sure. But the fight scene that accompanied that whole section was really good. Against all the Black Widow agents and stuff. That was better than anything we got in the Black Widow movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of made me sad that we got that shitty movie, and this animated show has nailed it.
I know, because it's really bizarre.
We got some really good Black Widow stuff in here. It's not, what's her name? Why am I blanking? It's not Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, it's someone else. But yeah, it was good. I liked it. We got lots of good Black Widow stuff in this.
Yes, and then this ties in then into a later episode into this season, because basically at the end of it, Peggy gets swept away to old
Netherlands.
1602.
1602, that's right.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that because that's episode 8. So that's
a long way
later. That's a long ways. But yes, and this from here on this point onwards, so we get into episode 6, which is what if Kahuri reshaped the world? Now, this was the first very different, their own original take
character
on this world and a character as well. Which I kind of really like. This is where it was just like, okay, this is where I'm starting to see what the potential of this show could be and very much of what they could do and everything like that. So yes, basically a Mohawk woman ventures into the waters of the Forbidden Lake to help save her people. So yes, this is a take upon the times where Mohawk was still around and everything like that. And basically the Spaniards were invading.
The conquistadors. Yeah, the Spanish.
Yeah, the Spanish.
Yeah.
We're invading. And this is the first time we have an original character for the show as well that they've made up.
Yeah, no, this was pretty. Yeah, yeah, it's an entirely original character for What If,
Yep, yep.
Kahori. And I think I kind of have mixed feelings because I really liked her. She was interesting, and I loved the whole like 15th century stuff. All of that was really cool and
Oh yeah,
awesome to
yeah.
see. But she felt a little one-sided and like a
Oh
little
yeah,
just
definitely OP as all
instantly
hell.
too powerful. Yeah. Yeah, she's just all of a sudden has all of the powers, and it felt like it was doing kind of the Avatar thing, where she gets swept away to a
Yes,
magical
yes.
world and learns how the yada yada, and then she's immediately good at everything, and she can like jump really far and run insanely fast and like beat everyone up instantly. Um, so like the episode itself was cool, but it felt like okay, cool. She's got powers now. There's no threat. She wins.
Yeah,
Like,
well, that's
cool.
that's the thing. I really feel like for this show, and this is why it was probably good that it was only like the 24-minute episode runtime for
Yeah.
this one, is because that's the thing. Like, if they did it as a full like a movie and everything like that, they would have to show like all the trials and tribulations that a hero goes through and stuff like that. And when they
Yeah.
was trying to show this one original character, where they were probably just like, we've only got this character probably for this season,
Yeah.
maybe we don't know, so let's
Yeah.
just like get as much
Jump
as we
straight there.
can of this one, straight into it type thing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And I kind of like the idea of what they did because yeah, it was their
Yeah.
first original story, their first original character they did for the show, and it was still set in the Marvel universe. And it was just like, oh, so this is what the potential of the show could be. They could do more stuff like this. And that's the thing you
Yeah.
were saying earlier. They could do more in later seasons about like the lesser known characters that we've seen so far, or even just lesser known Marvel comic book characters that they don't want to put into live action films. Obviously, like with all the upcoming stuff. I don't know what's going on with Deadpool 3. Apparently everybody's in that bloody film.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, it'd be kind of like cool to see
Who
like if
knows?
they did more with Moon Knight or with
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night and all those like strange, interesting characters. Even maybe introducing Blade into like one of these episodes would be pretty
They
cool.
could. They could do all sorts of stuff like that. I mean, they've shown that they can do an original character. They can bring someone that we haven't seen or don't, and it doesn't even have to be like the actor they're going to use live action because it's multiverse stuff. They can put a
Yeah,
Ghost
yeah.
Rider in there that's
Oh,
not
that would
whoever
be
they're going to
cool.
get to play Ghost Rider. You know,
Yeah.
they can have, God knows, a second like Doctor Strange movie sort of
Yeah.
thing. You know, throw someone in there that we don't know or won't see. Who else could they? They could do Spider-Man and it's just a completely different story. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they can get so wacky
Why
with
not?
this. They can do a Howard the Duck episode. They basically did that. Just kind of side character, but it's like we give him a whole episode. Something like that. Who knows? There's a lot of potential, and that's probably my favorite part of this episode is that it opens the door for new stuff, like making a
Yeah.
new character in the Marvel Comics world, like a world with billions and billions of named characters with every kind of power you can imagine, and coming up with something new. That's a pretty impressive feat in of itself, and also like a character that's likable
Yes.
and like is
Yeah,
fun
yeah.
to watch. It's impressive. But I wish we got a little bit more with her. Maybe some more, I don't know, conflict or like have something else happen because she kind of just won once she
Well,
got
that's the thing. It was
powers.
very much like I got the powers. I am immortal now.
Yeah, that's
Very
true.
much
And
like Captain Marvel-esque, shall I say?
yeah, but no, it like if they had one of the bad guys in it gain powers as well or something, even something simple and generic like that. We need something to heighten the stakes a little towards the end.
Yeah.
But this episode does end on another little high note tease for the later episodes, as Benedict Cumberbatch shows up as Doctor Strange Supreme. Just shows up and he's like, "Hey, Kahori, I need your help," or something, and that's how
Yes,
it
I
ends.
need your help.
And you're like,
This cuts.
oh,
Like,
what's going
okay.
on now? Ooh, okay, season 1. The best episode of that season is the Doctor Strange one. The what if Doctor Strange lost his
That
heart
should have
instead
been
of his
Doctor
hands?
Strange 2, the movie. Should have just been that episode.
Yeah, because that episode was insane, and that was 30 minutes, and that is
Yeah.
some of the greatest storytelling that we've ever seen in Marvel. Like that is the best written episode of the entire show. So I was very excited to see any Strange Supreme because he's such a cool, unique character, and he's still so different from our Doctor Strange. That he's like its own character, but even though he's kind of the same, it's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, he feels definitely different and unique, and I love that it does that. It sets aside characters like that, like Peggy Carter compared to Captain America. They're very different, even though they're kind of the same person.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
sure. Okay, so then the next episode, episode 7. What if Hela found the 10 rings? Give us the rundown on
That's right. Yeah. So
this one.
basically, Hela is stripped away of her powers and banished to Earth, and then comes
Oh no.
across a new source of power, which is the 10 rings. So yeah, this is basically pre Thor, pre Loki, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Where yeah, Hela was still around, and then Odin was just like, no, I don't want to do violence anymore. Then she obviously, instead of getting shipped to hell, she just gets kicked to Earth, and where she has to kind of, it's basically the original Thor film, but with Hela.
Yeah.
But it's set during the time where like the 10 rings were found and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then
Like
it turns into
2,000
Shang-Chi.
years ago. Yeah, it's Shang-Chi and the first Thor movie combined. And I feel like that's common with a lot of these, is they're just kind of smacking 2 Marvel movies together. For the most part, you can kind of go, it's this, and bang, and that's your episode, which is cool. I liked it. I really did like Hela in this, and also Wenwu. I feel like those two was a cool combination, but then I still felt like the episode fell flat at the end, even though we got a really cool fight scene with Odin. We've never seen Odin fight.
No, that's right. And he used like his spear thing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I do like that, and I like the whole Norse mythology side of it, combined with the 10 rings thing. It's always cool. There's some cool cultural elements to it that I really enjoy seeing in the movies. That's part of the reason why I liked Shang-Chi so much, is just because it was cool. It was different. We got to see this other side of the world, really. And we got to see that again here, and with some cool performances, some cool fight scenes, and then and then an ending that was meh. But
well, that's it. We just got to see more of Hela's character as well, and like obviously Kate Blanchett came back and voiced her again, which was something I was kind of disappointed with Thor Ragnarok a bit. Was that we didn't get a lot of screen time with her, where she was meant to be this build up of this big badass character, and she is Thor's and Loki's sister that they never got told about and stuff like that. And that was like never really touched upon in that movie. That was like the one big thing. But it was just kind of like cool to see her come back and have a bit more story time with her about this character. Cause we even saw like younger versions of Hela and stuff like that, and how she was raised and everything like that. And it was just kind of like, this alternate take of where there was no Thor around, and it was basically just Hela and stuff like that. And it would have been like kind of, well, it was really cool to see like her like as a character like growing and stuff like that, and just seeing more of her in this episode. And also we had Idris Elba come back to voice Heimdall as well.
Yeah, for his 2 lines or whatever that he had in this episode. Which is, it's cool. I love that. But yeah, this episode was pretty It was alright. It was enjoyable fun. I watched it and was like, all right, what's happening next? And I'm glad because
Blanchett, why not?
Sure, it's fun. Fighting scenes was cool. Episode 8. This is where so episode 8 is my favorite episode of the season. This is what if the Avengers assembled in 1602. Because it was the most different episode. It went entirely different with just about every character, except for like a couple main ones that stayed pretty much how they are. It got so wacky, and I love it.
Everyone speaks like Shakespeare, and they're like, yes, thou not thee die before my hand, good sir.
This also had the biggest cast. This has everyone. Samuel L. Jackson's back in it. Elizabeth Olsen, Hemsworth is back. Tom Hiddleston, Mark Ruffalo, Jon Favreau. Yeah, Mick Wingart as Tony Stark, and then Josh Keaton as Steve Rogers. But then everyone else. Paul Rudd's back. Sebastian Stan, Benedict Cumberbatch. It was great. So basically, this is where Peggy Carter ended up a couple episodes prior. It's medieval times, but with Marvel characters, kind of just running around.
So basically, Wanda is Wanda Merlin, as she's referred to as back in 1602.
Yeah,
she was basically She summoned in Peggy Carter from the future to hopefully fix all these time rifts and what's going on and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're like turned around and being like, well, it's actually not her type thing. And then Hela gets swept away on one of these time rifts. So then Thor takes
That's
over,
right,
and
yeah.
then basically, you killed my sister. He was like, I didn't have anything to do with it. So then she's on the run. And then
Yep,
it
that's
turns
right.
into like a bit of like Robin Hood-esque where she comes along,
Yeah.
1602 version of Steve Rogers, Ant-Man, and
Merry Men, yeah.
these merry
Bucky's
men.
there.
Bucky's there.
Oh,
They live in a little
that was
tree
really
house.
funny. It was the whole Robin Hood thing, and I
Yeah.
loved that. That was
Yeah.
my
Yep.
favorite part, is that whole element. I wanted to see more of them going around robbing, like, Jon Favreau, who's
Oh
basically
yeah.
the sheriff. And he also has these incredible bulk powers as well in this one.
Yep. Yep.
Sure. So I
And
guess he
then,
just does that now.
Tony Stark's there
He's
being an inventor
Tony
as
Stark.
well, which was kind of
Yeah,
like cool.
he's
Because he's
just
obviously
there.
still
That was
very
funny.
much an inventor doing stuff in that timeline of
Oh,
things
man.
and seeing what he can make up with things.
And
Even though it would have been kind of cool to see like a 1602 version of like the Iron Man armor.
yeah. I feel like that would have been a little bit too much, considering, again, it's a short episode. If these were hour-long episodes, I feel like they'd be a billion
Ooh.
times better.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
Do a
obviously
lot
we'd have to
more.
wait twice as long for an
Yeah.
episode to
Yeah.
come out. But it would have been insane. But I want to notice. Did you get teased at all when they tried to announce a certain character when Bruce Banner showed up? When they said a line, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna go find the man in the metal mask." Were you thinking what I was
Ah.
thinking? Because I thought that
Well,
they were gonna
I
do
thought
something crazy.
yeah, I thought they were gonna honestly put yeah, Doom. I thought when they said that, I was like, hey, 1602. Wait a minute. Where's Doom? Where's Doom?
They could have. We got an incredibly cool Hulk performance because it turns out it's just Bruce
Yeah.
Banner.
Yep.
But I was like genuinely gonna be impressed with Marvel for a second. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
god, what if he's actually doing something cool? Like whoa, 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 whoa. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
cool. The Hulk's cool, I guess. I like seeing Angry Hulk. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I was
still,
I was a little
I was
disappointed.
honestly like waiting. I was like, is this how they're gonna introduce Doom? I was like, wait a minute.
Can you imagine if they don't, and like no word prior at all, he just shows up. Like that's very on brand for Doom. That's how
Well,
you
that's
do
the thing,
Doom.
because Doom is very much like this era as well, like how his like sorcery works and
Oh
stuff like
yeah.
that, and the way he dresses and the way he speaks a lot in the comics is very much like this type of era, and it would have been like perfect to have like him as a
Yeah.
character in this episode.
They
I
could have
would
done it.
it would have been
They
really
could have.
cool.
He could have filled the Iron Man role in this.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
as the like I can send everyone back sort of
yeah,
thing. And that would be an insane way to introduce Doom, get everyone hyped, and then have no repercussions to any other side of the MCU at all, right? It doesn't
yeah,
even have to be the Doom that they use. Like we
yeah.
said, it can be a completely different character, different voice actor. Don't even have to show his face. He's wearing a mask.
Yep,
Like
yep.
it could have been amazing, but you
Was a
fell
perfect
short, and
opportunity.
I was
Yeah.
so disappointed. Even though this episode was my favorite from the season, it still left me a little disappointed, and I think that's the common denominator between these is they're great, but they're a little disappointing.
Yeah, they just get a little bit lackluster towards the end on how everything pans out
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And then it's the old like same old Marvel thing is where it just teases on to like something else
On
and
to
then
the
something
next.
else and then
Yeah.
something else. And it's just like, all right, we get
We
it.
get it, but also do the cool shit now, not later.
Yeah, bring me Doom.
Yeah, I don't know. That's okay. Because that leads into the season finale. Because at the end of that one, Doctor Strange shows up again, and
Yep.
he's like, "Hey, Peggy Carter, I also need your help." And you're like, "Oh, what's going on? Putting a team together. What's going on?" And then the episode ends, and we go to the next one.
That's yeah,
So give
that's
us a
literally it.
rundown
Yeah,
of what
so
happens
Stephen
next.
Strange, who's basically in the What If, he's the Sorcerer Supreme. Or the what's he called again? The Dark
It's just Doctor Strange Supreme. I don't know.
Strange Supreme. Okay.
Yeah,
Strange
Strange
Supreme
Supreme.
sounds like a strange pizza order.
Strange.
So yeah, basically
Can I get a
he
Strange
asks,
Supreme?
Strange
What do you want,
Supreme.
spooky anchovies?
It just comes with like Benedict Cumberbatch like face, like mushrooms and stuff. Like
That is strange.
That is strange. Oh, that'd be great. But yeah, basically he asked Peggy Carter to help him stop Kahori from the later episode
That's
going on a
right,
rampage
yeah.
that destroyed her home and threatens the multiverse. Yada. Peggy agrees despite the warning from the Watcher and for her not to intervene with it all. But she goes ahead, basically finds Kahori in her own timeline, they both get cornered, and then it turns out Supreme Strange is just like, hey, I'm still evil. Remember that, and I'm trying to save my
Oh
world and
yeah,
bring
yeah,
my versions of all my worlds back. And he's like, I'm
yeah,
using a giant human-sized god blender thing to put everyone in to get all their
yeah.
powers, so I can like yeah, the Forge. That's right. That's what they were calling it. And then
That's
yeah, it
yeah,
turns
the
into like this
Forge.
massive showdown against Captain Carter and Kahori up
Yeah,
against Supreme
Doctor
Strange,
Strange.
Doctor Strange.
This
And it
was
was pretty
pretty
cool.
cool.
It was kind of cool.
It
Like
was.
Captain Carter got Hella's helmet and all the
That's right.
Infinity
Okay.
stones. Which is
That
the
was a
thing.
little stupid. That
That
was very
was.
stupid. Because okay, so everyone that's getting turned into this weird meat blender, like it's a Pink Floyd music video, they're just falling from the sky. Half of the characters that are falling can fly. Half of them
Yeah.
have ranged weapons. Half of them can throw shit. They're not doing anything. They
Yeah.
managed to throw their weapons to Peggy Carter, even though they're gonna die without it. Even instead of helping. Hella
Yep.
could have been like, haha, knives, throw at you. Or, they could. The writing for this finale was, oh my god, it was it was a little bit bad, I will say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the action and the animation we got was so cool that I'm kind of willing to forgive it because it's a 20-minute fight scene and it was good,
Oh
even
yeah,
though
well
it,
that's the
it
thing. We
made
got to
no
see
sense.
the like fortress where Strange is, and then all these other
Yeah,
characters and stuff like that. We had the Marvel Zombies return at some point as well, which is
yeah,
getting
that's
its
right.
own dedicated animated show, which is still coming out
At
this year.
some point.
At some point this year,
Apparently.
apparently.
I haven't heard anything, but I have no nose.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, and then it was just like every other character, they were just like jam them all in there type thing, put them all in the
Oh.
blender.
Yeah, but they didn't get too wacky with it again. It was jam every
No,
character, but it's only ones we've seen before, and it's like, come on, like
yeah,
throw some weird ones in
show
there.
Ghost Rider in there.
Yeah, have like I don't know, just throw like I don't know, Green Goblin or something wacky
Yeah,
into a
yeah.
fight. Just people we need. Just it played it safe for a finale, considering the first season was so insane because it
Oh
brought
yeah,
everything together. For the
yep.
finale, including the zombies and stuff, which was all fresh. And then it's just kind of doing that again here, but not as impactful because it doesn't feel like it's a
No.
multiversal threat sort of thing. It's just, I'm Doctor Strange. I'm going to bring my world back. I'm killing all these people. Okay,
And
we'll
then
stop you.
basically the end result of that is that it did work, but he then sacrificed himself,
Yeah.
which then he bring the world back, but then he wasn't born in his world, so no one would
He
know who he
died.
was and
And
stuff
he
like
was
that.
kind of being controlled by the demons inside of him, sort of thing as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
And
was a
then
whole
that just
thing.
gets rid of, well, they killed off Supreme Strange, which kind of
Yeah, and
disappointed me a bit because I was
they
hoping whenever they do the next actual Doctor Strange film, that should have been the villain.
yeah. He should have been the villain of Multiverse of Madness, or even just shown up. They
There you
had
go.
evil strangers in that movie, but not that one, and I've
Not that one.
bit disappointing.
Not the cool one.
But, yeah, and it's because he's my favorite character of season 1, and they kinda did him a little dirty here. Even
Yeah.
though he did have that cool ending sort of moment where he brings back his world, even though he dies and sacrifices himself to do it in a weird
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
it feels like there's a better ways to do this. Your whole kind of first season thing was coming to terms with that you can't save everyone, and
Yeah.
now you're doing it again.
Yeah,
It
it was
felt
very
very
much a
much like
repeat.
yeah.
And it's just
So
like we
that was
had
kind of
growth with this
stupid.
character, and now it's just like
Mm.
that's gone out the window. It's like, what happened?
Yeah, but then it's like he's being controlled by weird demon dudes inside of him, so it's like, okay, but then it's
Yeah.
at least
And
the
then it
fight scene was
ties
cool.
in as well at the end, the Watcher and Peggy Carter are looking upon all the
Oh,
alternate
that's right.
what if
They're
universes and
best
stuff like
friends
that.
now.
They're
Yeah,
best friends now. They're gonna go on
very
adventures
weird.
together.
Yeah, it feels very Doctor Who ending. It's like, I can show you the world, and she's like, all right, let's go. I
I can
guess I can take
show
us
you
off.
the world
And it's
on the
like,
back
okay,
of a
is
magic
is season
carpet.
3 the Watcher and Peggy Carter
Yeah.
going around to different worlds, or are we gonna? I don't know. It feels
So,
like what do they do now?
what
It's
do
just
they
more.
do now?
I don't know. I think what. Okay, should we talk about what they should do? Yeah, what
Yeah,
do you think
yeah.
they should do for a third season or onwards?
Ooh. Well, here's the thing, because we've already know one episode, what's coming in season 3,
Yes.
because they already
Yeah.
teased it, which is
Bucky and
basically
Red Guardian
Bucky and Red Guardian
on a road trip
together
in the
on a
80s or
road
something.
trip. Yeah. which seems interesting. I'm like, sure, why not?
It looks
I
fun.
like where that's kind of heading. Is it going to be like a road trip type movie? It's like that would be pretty cool.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but with like super spies.
That would be honestly the best episode ever. I would love
Oh,
that.
that would be great.
But yeah, I would like them to go more wacky with it all, you know, like not
Yeah.
focus. I get what people are saying, like not focus on one specific character like they're doing with
Yeah.
Peggy and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
bring it more to be like we have this plethora of Marvel characters in our comics and stuff like that they'll probably never get a chance to get their time on screen
Yep.
in big films and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's just like get more of those characters involved in everything in the show. Like you said, get Howard the Duck, get his own episode. Something like that and everything like that. Or even Silver Surfer and stuff like that. Get on more
Silver
cosmic side
Surfer
of things.
episode would be amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, have you read like the original few runs of Silver Surfer where it's just him flying around?
A couple of like Jack Kirby ones that he did.
Yeah, some of those
'cause I
original
adore
Silver
Jack Kirby.
Surfers.
Yeah.
It's just him like flying around, like contemplating the universe. Something like that would make a really great half-an-hour episode of What If. Even without Galactus and that, it's just Silver Surfer going around as the Herald,
Well,
being
that's
like,
the
"What is the
thing as
meaning
well.
of this?"
There is another one. Even though they absolutely use Groot so much for everything else, and Groot has his own little show. But there is an actual comic book called I Am Groot. That is a little like they could do this in 30 minutes where it's literally Groot. He's not with Rocket at all, but he's like fully adult Groot. So he's a grown Groot where he gets lost. Well, Rocket gets taken away and then Groot has to find him. And it's his own adventure because obviously no one speaks Groot. And then he just goes around finding all these strange, interesting people that he meets across the universe. And so he comes along the Silver Surfer at one point and has a conversation with Silver Surfer. And it was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. That would be amazing, especially if they tie those two episodes together. Like they do the Groot one and the Silver Surfer one, and both of them kind of interact in their episodes.
I think the comic itself, it's only like 30 pages, like 30, 35. It's a
one
very
issue,
like one issue type thing they did for him. I was
so
like, this
cool.
is like that's perfect comic book material for a show like this.
Yeah, stuff like that is perfect. I mean, you look at every single hero has that. Spider-Man has some really good stories where he's not even Spider-Man that are really like one issue short things. There's a really good one they did for Free Comic Book Day where it's just him going on like a date with Mary Jane or something. And it's really interesting. He's just talking about how Spider-Man's affecting his life sort of thing. And it's perfect for an episode like that. Same with the Silver Surfer thing. But yeah, what I would like of a third season or onwards is I want less of an overarching story like they've done these past two seasons, and I want more individual episodes that don't connect. Or at least for the most part, don't connect. You can have one or two that connect, or you can bring characters back. Do a third Peggy Carter episode in whatever, season 4. Have like another sequel to that does kind of the Civil War story. Something like that'd be awesome. But I don't want more of the I'm the Watcher, you guys have to save the universe thing every season. I feel like that's boring now because the first season did it really good and the second season was meh in terms of that. So I want more single episodes. Or episodes that tie in, like a Groot and a Silver Surfer one, like you said. Those two tie in. Bang. There's 2 episodes that connect. There you go. That's perfect. Something like that is amazing. You could do, I don't know, the Fantastic Four. Give me new characters. The X-Men. Hopefully with Deadpool coming out, that means X-Men are open for What If. I hope.
Yeah. I hope. Well, that's the thing, because the X-Men are getting their own animated show, remember? They're getting the 97.
But that's a continuation of an old one. So I feel like that's a bit...
It might be a continuation into like the Deadpool 3 universe.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess
that's a very big thing.
Everything's MCU now. Technically, that is a What If show.
That is a What If
the
show,
X-Men were in 97? So I guess they could do something like that. I mean, why not? They could do some crazy shit.
Let's get wacky with it. And then you've got to have... I can only think now, though, if they ever do, like, X-Men and they bring Deadpool into it, he's going to be like at the watch. He's just like, what the fuck's going on? He's going to get so 4-4.
Would be amazing.
They basically should do Deadpool kills the MCU in a What If episode.
In a What If episode? They could. Or they could just do something silly with Deadpool. Like, just what
Yeah.
if Deadpool ran into the Watcher and it's just them,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
arguing for half
Well,
an hour or
that
something.
is literally like a whole bunch, or mostly of Deadpool comics, and that's the thing. Most of his comics are very much like these little short story things,
Yeah,
like, oh, what if he came across Thanos and stuff like that, and
yeah.
like he gets into a fight with Thanos over death, because since in the comics
That's right,
Deadpool
they're both
loves
in love
death
with
and
her,
everything
yeah.
like that, they both love death, and it's just like, yeah, you could do like these fun,
Yeah.
wacky little story things, and that's the thing. Would be
They
another
could,
cool
yeah.
thing to do, like the whole Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, which is like one
It
of
would be
Deadpool's new
really
comics.
cool.
It would be really cool to see like a 30
It
minute
would.
take on that.
It would, but I don't know. I feel like they're playing it too safe, even though they can get so wacky and the possibilities are endless. It's what if, you know, you could
It
do
is what
literally anything.
if.
You can bring in
Endless
spiders, man.
possibilities.
You can do
Bring in
literally
Man Spider.
anything. Oh god. That was one.
That
Yeah.
would be horrifying.
All right. Well, should we final thoughts, ratings, yada yada? What if season 2?
Yeah, yeah. Did you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You can go first. Why don't you
I'll
kick it
go
off, Barry?
first. So yes, I did very much enjoy this show, and that's the thing. I watched both seasons over the arc of 1 week, and it was kind of like really cool to get into this world again of like all these characters, and I absolutely adore the art style so much. I love the art style
It's
to this
very
show.
good.
I'm just like, it is perfect.
Yeah.
I want to see more stuff like this. But yeah, for season 2, there was a lot of elements to it compared to season 1 that was just kind of like wasn't really there for me. It was just like fun gimmicky things and seeing what they
Yeah. Yeah.
potential, what they could do and everything like that. And yeah, the stories weren't as good as season 1, like you were saying and stuff like that. And yeah, it was just kind of all, it's still a fun time to watch all these characters, but I feel very much like season 1 and season 2, they were all really tied into one another because a lot of them were like in the production during season 1.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in season 3 and everything like that.
Yeah.
I really did love the first episode of this season, though, the Nova Corps episode with Nebula, just because I'm a
Oh, yeah.
massive Blade Runner fan.
I knew you'd like it.
It's-
Yeah.
So that's what you got me to hook to watch season 2. Was just like, it's basically
Right.
Blade Runner. I was like, I
It's
literally,
Blade Runner.
when you messaged me that, within 5 minutes, I sat down and watched that episode.
Wait, really? Oh my god.
That is how
When
much
I
of a
yeah,
diehard Blade Runner fan I am.
I knew because as soon as I saw that it was doing the Blade Runner thing, I'm like, okay, Barry's gonna watch it. I gotta let him know that it's Blade Runner now. It's really funny.
It's really funny. And then that's I did like the introduction to Kahori's character and the potential of what they can do with this show and everything like that. And yeah, the episode of them going back to 1602 and everything, that was really cool to see and stuff like that. So overall, I'm going to give this show a rating of 7 out of 10.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I am going to give the show a 6 out of 10. It definitely fell a little bit short in quite a few areas, mostly storytelling. It was very generic. There was no twists, no turns. You knew what was going to happen, start to finish. As soon as a character was introduced, you knew where it was going. But you got some really cool action. The animation's really cool. It's good to see these characters again, especially the what ify ones like Peggy Carter and Strange Supreme. They're really cool. Kahori's definitely got some. I don't like. There's something there that could make her really interesting.
Potential to make her really interesting and stuff like that. It'd be interesting to see what they do in season 3 if they continue her character, if they make her into live action. I don't know. But it was just kind of cool. The idea of that episode was just like a new original character no one's heard of before. We're doing our own thing, and it was just like, well, if they're doing that, no cameos or anything like that until right at the end. I'm just like, that's what they can do.
Episode
like
time.
For future seasons and stuff like that. That's what they can.
They can, and I feel like maybe that was testing the waters a little bit to see like what can we get away with. Maybe we can do different things.
Yeah,
I hope, and it's not just like, hey, let's continue these characters now. Kahori's gonna get 30 episodes in the next season. It's like, oh,
that's
cool.
another thing. Yeah, don't overdo it. Which I know Disney and Marvel they absolutely love to do at the moment. And Marvel is just an absolute mess of things.
More Peggy Carter,
because I'm surprised you didn't say this with your news today. We're still not sure what's happening with the whole MCU side of things at the moment. Are they going to recast Kang, or are they just going to find someone else? Apparently, they're recasting. There has been a few things let out, but it's just like,
I don't know. It's a
This
whole
is
nother
why
bag, and
I'm
that's
putting
why I didn't
all
bring it
my
up.
money. All my money's going to James Gunn right now. I'm just like,
Yeah.
James Gunn, give me a phone
Well,
call. I will happily
here's
write for you. I would do anything for you.
here's the thing. Next week we get Echo. We get Echo in 2 days' time. All 5 episodes of that show. The newest MCU thing, and that looks good.
Yes,
Like
it
that
does look
looks
good.
really good.
Yeah.
Wilson Fisk and Daredevil are
Well, this is the
prominently
first
featured.
show. This is the first Marvel MCU show that is going to be MA15. Because basically, for the rest of this year, all their stuff, all their big stuff is kind of like, well,
Yeah.
there's only
Wait,
one
no,
Marvel
it
film
is.
coming out this year. There is only one Marvel film coming out this year, and it's R
And
rated.
it's gonna be so that'll be MA for us. And then yeah, we get Echo, which is MA, and if we get Zombies was supposed to be MA as well. So
Yep.
it's
It's
only
looking to
gonna
be a
be
very
MA
dark year for Marvel
unless
this
we
year,
get
and hopefully
another
it turns
season of
out
What
well.
If. Yeah, unless we get another season of What If, it's gonna be all MA
Yeah.
stuff. But I doubt it, especially if we're doing
It depends
zombies.
on when Marvel Zombies comes out, if that's still a thing.
No,
So
not sure. And there also might be other shows that we're forgetting, but
Could
it's
be.
been a huge delayed bag, so we don't know. Oh, I think we get X-Men
Yes.
97 this year.
Yes, that's meant
I
to be
think
coming out this year.
that'll be PG, so
Yeah.
that's okay.
We'll see what happens.
Who knows? We'll also see you next time. Let's end it
yes,
there.
it's that
Bye bye.
Yeah, so thanks for coming out, everyone. Thanks for checking out the brand new season of We Talk Film. You know, we've got new overlay, new brand new season. So let us know down in the comments and what you want to see this season. Any ideas on what you would like to see coming forwards, videos, a whole
Because we don't know.
50.
We have no idea what we're doing.
Way too many weeks in a year. Whole new season. All right, we'll see you later.